gewiss, doch ich steh wieder auf. Lass sie reden jeden Mist, nein, ich gebe nicht auf. Wenn der Regen auf mich pisst, ich begeb mich unter den Baum, wo er mich wenigstens nicht trifft. Und nun drehe ich den Knauf und betrete das Licht. Hey, yo, what's good, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kojik. I'm a German rapper, and today we got another music from Pakistan, but on geography now. And as I told you, I want to go on all the countries that are currently on my channel and cover the whole countries on geography now to see what the countries are about, what the politics are, demographics, geographic anomalies, and sites, and whatever, man. All the stuff about the country. Religion is involved as well in this, man. Pakistan, Muslim country, and I wonder why I actually mentioned that. This just the thing I know about Pakistan, right? Anyways, man, I'm very excited. It's a long video once again, so we shouldn't talk too much. I will say, if you want to see more reactions like this, especially on Pakistan, in this case, like music from Pakistan, please sub to the channel and hit the bell. Thank you very much. And don't forget to hit me up on my socials to recommend me videos and music, and give me feedback and background knowledge. And I would say we jump right into the video, right? This is what we're actually doing. And see what Pakistan is like.
All right, Pakistan. You've probably heard of this guy, maybe in the news, maybe in literature, maybe in movies. Pakistan is sort of a societal paradox. It's only a little over half a century old, yet it retains history that predates the pyramids of Egypt. There's so much to cover, so pack your bags and stand on this bus ride to Pakistan.
Okay, look, I didn't get like the stand pack is stand. Okay, I think I got the wordplay right there. Okay, Pakistan, I mean, I just didn't hear anything about them in the news before I discovered like the music on YouTube. So I mean, it's a little bit different in my case, but we're gonna see what he's got to say. And actually what he said, like, it's close to 50 years old. Just there was I was familiar with, but it got like a history that goes back to Egypt, like to the ancient times. Like he compared that to Egypt. All right.
It's time to learn geography now!
Hey everyone, I'm your host Barbs. Pakistan is kind of like the bridge between the Middle East and the rest of Asia. It is the only nation in the world known to have been established on the basis of religion alone.
Well, what about me?
I mean, originally kind of, yes, but you were like one unit with Pakistan, and then you got a second independence based on you not liking Pakistan.
Oh yeah, that's right. By the way, you should really redo my episode. It's completely outdated and you totally stole that map from Jay Foreman.
Oh, I met up with Jay in London. We had a jolly live stream chat and laughed about it. Calm down, he's cool with me.
It's true, I am cool with it. I'm not really cool with it.
Anyway.
Okay, we talking about Bangladesh right here, and I'm not too sure about this. If like he kind of spoiled it that Pakistan and Bangladesh were one country. They split up because they didn't want, like, there was the location was very far apart. Okay. But he will talk about that, man, because of the history of Pakistan.
Chat and laughed about it. Calm down, he's cool with me.
It's true, I am cool with it. I'm not really cool with it.
Anyway, time for Pakistan. Pakistan. It's interesting because even the name, which means pure land, is even an acronym for the 5 former regions of British India that joined together: Punjab, Afghania, Kashmir, Sindh, and Baluchistan. Pakistan! Later the I was added to just help with pronunciation. Anyway, the map. Pakistan.
Okay, I didn't really got, like, it was British colonization coming all over on geography, you know. This is just how I feel. But okay, the name comes like from somewhat the British thing. Like, I mean, yeah, we seen the says right on screen here.
Pakistan! Later the I was added to just help with pronunciation. Anyway, the map. Pakistan is located in South Asia, surrounded by Iran, Afghanistan, China, and India. With the
just 4 countries, and I actually knew that these countries are the neighbors because all of them, not China is on my channel, but China, everybody knows like where China is, I guess. I mean, yeah. Iran, Afghanistan is on the channel, India is on the channel.
The Arabian Sea and Gulf of Oman in the south. The country is divided into 4 provinces and 3 territories, including the capital Islamabad that acts as its own territory. Keep in mind the northern territories are administratively operated under Pakistan's government, but India still claims parts or most of them. The country's largest city and former capital, though, is Karachi in the Sindh province, with about 15 million people. It holds the largest and busiest airport, Karachi Jinnah International, and the largest shipping port, the port of Karachi, which handles about 60% of the nation's cargo. However, the largest deep sea port in the world is actually here in Gwadar. Recently, it has been going over massive renovations and construction funded by the Chinese as a means to help with access to the Indian Ocean. The nation's second largest city is Lahore.
Okay, I want to stop real quick. So we're talking about the capital Islamabad, who's acting like their own province, and we're talking about Karachi. Pretty sure youngsters are from Karachi. 50 million people, I didn't know that. I just seen it on some graphics, like there was actually about drugs, like, because I think it's one of the biggest towns where like drugs are sold illegally. I don't want to go on the negative sides too much, but all right. And the other shipyard, there was like they got financial help from China. All right, we know in Asia China is going wild, and in Africa as well, with financial help to get like good economical trade going with these countries as well. All right, okay.
Lahore in the Punjab province, which holds the 3rd busiest airport, Lahore Allama Iqbal International. The country has a vast, wide rail network.
Lahore I knew as well, because it's Punjab. We're talking about Punjab, and we have that on the channel with Sidhu Muswala.
Extending from Karachi to Peshawar in the north, with branch lines extending to Iran, Afghanistan, and a proposed line that goes up to China. However, it would be very difficult considering that there are incredibly high mountains up further north, and today there is only one main road that crosses over from Pakistan into China. The N35 highway, otherwise known as the Karakoram Highway, the world's highest paved road at over 4,000 meters above sea level. This one little road is the life-giving artery on the 523-kilometer wide border that gives China access to the Indian Ocean and Pakistan access to the east, circumnavigating around India, which otherwise blocks them both. Yeah.
Alright, so Pakistan seems to be important for China. This is what I got from that in terms of getting access to the ocean, right? Okay, that's interesting.
Pakistan access to the east, circumnavigating around India, which otherwise blocks them both. Yeah, I mean, it's really not hard to understand why China and Pakistan get along. It's like,
give me access to the west! Ugh.
Nope.
And now my favorite part of any episode, territorial anomalies.
Yeah,
now, if you ask someone to draw the map of Pakistan, you might get a lot of different images depending on who you ask. Some might draw this, some might draw this, and those that don't know what maps are might draw this. But in regards to the Pakistani...
I mean, we had this joke before, but it was shown an Italy map. And he did the joke again, man. I like it, actually.
This, some might draw this, and those that don't know what maps are might draw this. But in regards to the Pakistani administered areas, as we discussed before, this whole region is disputed with India, and it is the site of the most militarized area on the planet, Jammu and Kashmir. In a condensed explanation, in this area, Pakistan and India want all of this, China just wants these parts. Pakistan and India had 3 wars. They drew a militarized line over here between India and Pakistan. Pakistan relinquished their claim to the Shaksam Valley over to China, but India did not agree and still claims it. All the while, all 3 countries converge on the Siachen Glacier, the second largest non-polar glacier in the world, on point NJ9842, and the dead man zone begins where nobody dares to do anything. This is probably the most tense border point in the world. So there you go.
Okay. But why? Why though? Why is this like the most tense? I mean, I'm getting the point. They like claiming to have this country for themselves, but why is that like, why is this zone like up there like so intense? You know, I didn't really get the point on that one, man.
Do anything. This is probably the most tense border point in the world. So there you go.
Okay, because China's involved in there as well, because it's like in the north, maybe.
Confusing border stuff and weird tension with Chinese alliance. Pakistan! Some of the top spots you guys, the Pakistani geography suggested we mention in this video, include places like Faisal Mosque, the Shandur Polo Grounds, the most dangerous hanging bridge in the world.
What kind of bridge is that, man? That really look dangerous, man.
Shangri-La Lake, the shipbreaking yard of Gadani. There's so many amusement parks like these. There are so many forts like these. There's even some Hindu sites like these. Of course, there are so many tombs and mausoleums. Here's a bunch of them. There's St. Patrick's Cathedral in Karachi, Changamanga, Lahore Museum, Karachi War Cemetery. All of these UNESCO heritage sites, as well as these major archaeological sites. Yeah, you can see that there's a lot.
Okay, they gathered quite a lot. There were maybe 10 seconds, and we got like 30 buildings and places, basically, yeah.
A lot of backstory hidden within the valleys of Pakistan, and it goes way back to a very important river, which brings us to... Pakistan's landscape is incredibly diverse. If you look at Pakistan from above, you'll notice it has some very prominent and distinctly contrasting features, and it's very interesting how Pakistan used these features to their advantage. For one, Pakistan is kind of precariously situated right at the convergence of the Indian, Arabian, and Eurasian plate zones. This is what has created the dry, hilly area known as the Sulayman Range and the Balochistan Plateau in the southwest. Despite the Balochistan province, the largest one, taking up about 44% of the country's land, only about 6% of the population lives here. This effectively makes Balochistan and Azad Kashmir the earthquake capitals of Pakistan. The capital of Balochistan, Quetta, was nearly destroyed in 1935, yet rebuilt. In the north, you can find the tallest peak.
Alright, so we're talking about the desert where there's, it's between the tectonic plates and there's a lot of earthquake happening. That's in the west of the country, alright. That's interesting.
Peak K2 or Chogori, the second tallest mountain in the world, straddling the border with the disputed Shaksam Valley that both India and China claim. Keep in mind, 5 of the 14 tallest peaks in the world, known as the 8000ers Club, are located in the north of Pakistan, 4 in the Gilgit-Baltistan territory alone. From there going south, you...
So, how many? 4 or 5 mountain peaks that are above 8,000 kilometers are in Pakistan? Is that how I got it right? Because I thought Nepal has like high mountains as well. We're going on Nepal as well, so we're gonna see on that, man.
In the north of Pakistan, 4 in the Gilgit-Baltistan territory alone. From there going south, you see the one iconic powerhouse lifeline of the entire nation, the Indus River. Fed by snowmelt from the mountains up north, this is the longest river in the nation that has dozens of branches and tributaries that essentially feed the entire country. In fact, the Indus River Basin is the world's largest irrigation system with over 58,000 kilometers of canals, cultivating over 230,000 square kilometers of land. Further south, you find the largest natural lake in the country, Manchar, along the edges of the Indus Valley that flow into the Indus River Delta with the Kheti Bundur South Wildlife Sanctuary. This is the most heavily forested and wildlife concentrated area of Pakistan that is not commercially exploited. Also, it is really hard to build harbors here because the swampy mangroves make it difficult. Finally,
oh, okay, that's interesting. We're talking about the river system and a lot of canals built around this river. And we're talking about like, oh man, okay, they can't build harbors down there because of the swampy grounds, and there was the big lake. Things going, amen. Okay, that's all stuff I didn't know about, man.
Skip to the east, you hit the Tarparkar Desert, which claims to be the world's only fertile desert, with a dry landscape, but abundance of water sources that nourish the myriad of shrubby plants and wildlife. Just zoom in and you can find small ponds and creeks meandering throughout the entire area, well across the border into India. Now keep in mind, within all this stuff, there's a ton of cool notable sites, such as the Hingol mud volcanoes, that lake that looks like a teardrop, the Biafo Glacier, the Fairy Meadows, the second largest salt mine in the world, and there's so much more, but yeah, I'm done here.
Okay, that is really interesting. I'm interested, like, once again, which products are getting produced in Pakistan, man. Hey boy, alright.
Meadows, the second largest salt mine.
And we talking about salt, for example, right? The second largest salt mine
in the world. And there's so much more, but yeah, I'm done here. I need a triple shot of espresso break, which means, oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, Noah.
Oh, Noah's back!
As you can probably guess by now, Pakistan's land is not only loaded with contrast, but resources as well. Over 40% of the population is employed in agriculture and livestock, where wheat and cotton are the major crops.
Wheat and cotton. So, 30% of population working at agriculture, wheat and cotton. Alright. Okay, here we go.
They actually rank 4th in the world for cotton production and 3rd in goat meat. Pakistan.
Goat meat? Oh, okay. I mean, we basically have, we don't eat any goat in Germany, man. I mean, I know in Germany there's this like the biggest export nation for pork, you know, and you don't eat pork probably because you're Muslim, right? Hey man, just saying.
Is actually one of the largest textile producing countries in the world. In fact, this one city produces about half the entire world's football or soccer balls. Otherwise, the
Oh come on, that's what I was talking about. We going to the products, man. No, we going to the animals, man. But that's it. That's it. We're already going to the animals, man.
nation is also thriving with wildlife. They have about 660 bird species, over 170 mammal species, including the national animal, the markhor. To finish off this segment, like we always do, food. Some dishes you guys, the Pakistani geography suggested we mentioned, include things.
Hey man, I'm already in love with what I see on screen, man. Hey boy, like honestly, I know. If matter of fact, I know one guy from Pakistan. No, I never ate like I don't remember cooked food from Pakistan, man.
Things like Baluchi style saji and meat pie. Beef and lamb korma is also popular.
Korma?
In the north, you see dishes closer to Iranian and Afghan cuisine like lamb and beef kebab and Pashtun style rice. We all know the world famous Punjab cuisine. It's virtually the exact same as the Punjab in India. In the south, the Sindhi people will probably have more fish in their diets as they are on the coast. There's a lot of other cuisines we could have mentioned within the various ethnic groups, but that would take way too much time. We can, however, talk about the people groups.
I didn't know one of the dishes. Not even one, man. Hey, this is crazy stuff, man. We need Pakistani restaurants in Germany, man. Just saying.
This next segment, the...
Thank you, Noah. Now, the weird thing about the entire South Asian subcontinent is that when you look at the people, many of them look exactly alike, and you would just assume they're basically relatives. I mean, you have Pakistani Punjabis and Indian Punjabis, Pakistani Kashmiris, Indian Kashmiris. They have the same languages and same cultural traditions and history and customs, and in most cases, they really are family. But when it comes to nationhood and worldview, the dichotomy makes a clear boundary that splits one side from the other.
Keep talking. We're listening.
First,
Well, okay, I know South Korea, but I don't even know the other country. All right, so they basically are relatives. Just I mean, the Punjab. We're talking about Punjab. We're talking about Kashmir, but like they are between the borders somehow. Like they're between the nations because politics. Just think, man. We want this country. No, we want this country. Stuff happening, man.
First of all, the country has over 200 million people and is the sixth most populous nation in the world and second most populous Muslim nation after Indonesia.
Yes, actually, man. Sixth most populated. Wait, with 200,000, it's the sixth most populated country? Like, really? I thought there are more countries who have that much population.
The country is very diverse in people groups, but the largest ones are the Punjabis at around 45%,
Yes,
Pashtuns in the north at about 16%, Sindhis in the south at about 14%, Saraikis at about 9%, and the rest are a mix of various other people groups like the Mujahirs, Baluchis, and so on. They
And there are a lot. There are a lot of ethnicities. To be sure, man. Really.
use the Pakistani rupee as their currency, they use the type C and D plug outlets, and they drive on the left side of the road. Yeah, they were a former British colony. Now,
We're going on this over and over again, man.
Pakistan has 74 listed individual languages spoken throughout the country, 66 of which are indigenous and 5 have over 10 million speakers each. Almost all of them are Indo-Aryan. How on earth do all the people of Pakistan stay interconnected? Well, today, much like India, the nation has 2 official languages used and taught in schools, used as
Urdu and English, right?
lingua francas, Urdu and English.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's right. It's pronounced Urdu, not
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. How did he say that? Wait a second.
Yeah, that's right. It's pronounced Urdu, not
Urdu. Like you don't pronounce the R?
Urdu. For reference, Urdu is basically the same thing as Hindi, except it has a few extra words and phrases borrowed from Persian and Arabic. It's also written in the Perso-Arabic script. Here are some of you guys, the Pakistani geographers, explaining the subtle differences between Urdu and Hindi.
Hi, I'm Asya from Pakistan. Khatun is a woman in Urdu, and in Hindi it's Mahila, usually. Also, words like miracle, which is mojaza in Urdu, is chamatkar in Hindi.
I'm Maha from Lahore. Some of the words, or more like sentences, are quite the same in both the languages. Like the word magician, in both Hindi and Urdu it's jadugar. But to a Pakistani and an Indian, the language differences are quite stark. Let's take thank you for example. In Hindi, you would say dhanyawad, but in Urdu, you would say shukriya.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so some words are the same, but quite a lot are not. So maybe it's a little bit like English German, I feel, because maybe they're a little bit closer than English and German, but English and German are really, there are a lot of words that are the same or very similar, and others that are completely different, right?
Now, within the areas that make up Pakistan today, there is no one type of Pakistani. They come in all different shapes and colors, but the general demographic configuration layout shows that the East is more Indo-Aryan and the West is more Perso-Iranian. We don't have time to explain the culture behind all the many people groups of Pakistan, but we can highlight the largest ones. Let's start off. Punjabis. They are the river people. The word Punjab even means land of five waters. They are the backbone of the Indus River Valley. They are known for having a lot of agriculture or artisan associated people, but basically everyone knows that Punjabis are like the partiers of Pakistan. Their cousins, the Saraiki of the south, are kind of like a weird fusion between Punjabis and Sindhis. They love cooking with these flowers and are famous for their Jumar dancing. Sindhis are the southerners of Pakistan that rule the Delta and the largest city, Karachi. They are kind of known for being the money handlers, the business guys of Pakistan that keep the gears running on the financial side. Sufi Islam has a huge impact on Sindh.
We talking about Sindh, we talking about Punjab. What was the other one? I know about Sufi, because Sufi I'm familiar with. That's like the Muslim. Wait. What did it say? Like Punjab? I didn't. Shunaja.
Partiers of Pakistan. Their Punjab even means land of five waters. They are the backbone of the Indus River Valley. They are known for having a lot of agriculture or artisan associated people, but basically everyone knows that Punjabis are like the partiers of Pakistan. Their cousins, the Saraiki of the
Saraiki. I've never heard of Saraiki.
south, are kind of like a weird fusion between Punjabis and Sindhis. They love cooking with these flowers and are famous for their Jumar dancing. Sindhis are the southerners of Pakistan that rule the Delta and the largest city, Karachi. They are kind of known for being the money handlers, the business guys of Pakistan that keep the gears running on the financial side. Sufi Islam has a huge impact on Sindhi culture. Pashtun.
Yeah, so he's not saying anything more about Sufi. He's just saying culture, and we know Sufi rock, we know Qawwals, like this is all about Sufism, right, in the music. This seems to be a very big part, actually. He just keeps it very
running
short.
on the financial side. Sufi Islam has a huge impact on Sindhi culture. Pashtuns. These are the same Pashtuns that we talked about in the very first Geography Now episode, Afghanistan. Remember those days. They are an Iranic people group related to the Persians and Afghani groups, not Indo-Aryan. Many of them still follow Pashtunwali, or the ancient self-governing tribal system that regulates everyday life activities in Pashtun communities. They have their own traditional clothing, festivals. Many celebrate Nowruz, the Persian New Year. And finally, Baluchis. They are the cousins of the Pashtuns, another Iranian people group. Like the Pashtuns, they have their own tribal societies. According to tradition, all the tribes are descended from one of the 5 children of Jalal Khan. At one point, there was kind of like a little bit of an insurrection amongst the Baluchi people for secession into an independent Baluchistan state. They are the most mineral rich.
Oh wait, Baluchistan wants to be in a own state? Okay, I didn't know about that. I know they have their own language. Like Baluchi is a language, right?
From one of the 5 children of Jalal Khan. At one point, there was kind of like a little bit of an insurrection amongst the Baluchi people for secession into an independent Baluchistan state. They are the most mineral-rich province in Pakistan, which is why their women are known for wearing some of the most lavish jewelry. And finally... Dude.
Are we really going like this, man? I mean, is this really connected, or is he just joking, man? That they're real aware of these scams.
Mineral-rich province in Pakistan, which is why their women are known for wearing some of the most lavish jewelry. And finally, we have to mention the cold mountain people, such as the Kashmiris, Baltis, Wakis, and so on. Kashmiris are Indo-Aryan, whereas Baltis are Sino-Tibetan. Nobody knows exactly what the Burushos are, but they exist. The Hunza people live the longest and have a super healthy special diet. The Kalash people have lots of blondes and redheads, and they practice a form of animism related to ancient Hinduism. And there are so many other people groups, but we don't have time. That's the gist of it. That's how you make a Pakistan.
Basically, that is so diverse that I can't keep this in my mind. There's so much happening. That's not just, oh, we have this group and that's it. No, we have like 20 groups. Dude, that's crazy. That was a long part on the video, man.
Guys, there are some traits that most Pakistanis kind of universally follow. And with that, here's Random Hannah to explain with culture stuff.
In Pakistan, no matter what region you go to, you are very likely to see the traditional dress called shalwar kameez. They come in all different colors and designs.
Oh, wait. I have seen he looks like Atif Aslam, first of all. Like, I'm pretty sure he wore something like this on one of his live appearances. This might actually be Momina Mustazan, man. Just looking at her. And maybe she's not, but I see. I already know these kind of clothes.
Designs. India has Bollywood and Pakistan has Lollywood. The term
Lollywood? That sounds weird, man.
used for the film industry centered around Lahore, mostly produced.
Oh, Lahore, there's the film industry. And man, okay, we're going into some interesting stuff right now because I didn't know about like they have a film industry. Alright, that's interesting.
Producing Urdu-speaking films so everyone can understand. Pakistan also has the most active and numerous UN peacekeepers, usually working in Islamic countries to help as mediators in religious-based conflict. Speaking of which, they have the 6th largest military force in the world. They are famous for the Wagah border ceremony done every day at the border with India. Many people...
Wait, okay, it's the 6th biggest country from population and they have the 6th biggest army. That just makes sense in a way, you know? As far as I got it right now. And now we're talking about cricket.
They are famous for the Wagah border ceremony done every day at the border with India. Many people know Pakistan and India as cricket powerhouses. However, they love field hockey and squash as well.
I mean, field hockey we had in India as well. Just squash is new to me. Like, I didn't know about this from India, man.
They have the best performance in the world with 4 championships. And with squash, they have the most British Open squash championships and world championships as well. And finally, of course, at about 95% of the population adhering to it, Pakistan unites mostly under the Muslim faith. Nonetheless, the constitution guarantees freedom of religion, and there are noticeable Hindu and Christian minorities. However, the constitution does limit political rights of non-Muslims. For example, the
okay. They have like the freedom for religious freedom. That is very important, but there are some limitations on this. Okay, I didn't know about that right now. I knew that it's a Muslim country, like 90, I thought even more than 95%, to be honest. Like Hindu minority, Christian minority.
Christian minorities. However, the constitution does limit political rights of non-Muslims. For example, the president and prime minister must always be Muslim. And now, I'm sorry guys, but here's Keith with some music stuff.
In Pakistan, there are 3 main general genres you will hear commonly throughout the country. Traditional regional music, religious music.
Oh, there was Nusrat right on screen there. Hey man, I just see it. Hey boy. That's the traditional regional one. Regional. I said religional? What is that? Regional. Alright. So we know, okay.
Regional music, religious music.
Religious music, but wait, what's the difference? I'm not getting the point on this one.
And modern music.
Yeah, there's Ali Zafari, man. Alright.
A long time ago, before the European system was adopted, many places in the Indian subcontinent had a musical notation print called Swaralipi. It depicted notes, scales, and pitch. Raga music uses this a lot. Nonetheless, much of Pakistani music is based on improvisation and learned technique. Today, everything from Pakistani hip-hop, pop, and yes, even metal has been growing in the past few decades.
I love how you were so pumped for half that sentence and then you died at the end. Now, usually...
And okay, I like the music part on this, and actually, I'm still familiar with how these instruments look. They had right on screen there, but I couldn't name them. That might be a Zitar. I wouldn't know. Hey man, just saying.
You were so pumped for half that sentence and then you died at the end. Now, usually we don't sugarcoat everything here at Geography Now. I asked you guys, the Pakistani geography peeps, to explain some of the current issues Pakistan is facing today. They do have blasphemy laws enacted in their government system, which some see as a suppression of speech, illiteracy, and...
Oh, blasphemy laws? That does basically mean if you say, like, for example, I don't believe in God, you can't be politician? Is this how I got it right? Or is it, I mean, it's not a general thing because, alright.
Have blasphemy laws enacted in their government system, which some see as a suppression of speech. Illiteracy and unemployment can also be high in certain areas as well. Just like their neighbors, human trafficking, especially of the homeless and homeless children, has been widely documented. Many of
bad education and human trafficking. I've heard that from my girlfriend because she was watching some documentary about Pakistan, and I didn't know about human trafficking in Pakistan. But she told me about this. This is a deal in your country. I mean, this is unfortunate, man. There are bad people everywhere in the world, but not everywhere it happens so much. It's because how. I mean, I sometimes want to like police. I'm not a fan of the police, but for some things you need like an army. You need a police, you know. That's the thing. And on the other hand, there are bad things because of that as well, man. Hey boy.
Just like their neighbors, human trafficking, especially of the homeless and homeless children, has been widely documented. Many officials like this guy are trying their best to fight against it. And finally, yes, we all know that there is controversy with the jihadist terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda that have been operating back and forth within regions of South Asia, often within Pakistani borders. This has been a constant.
Oh, this is why I'm reading in the comments sometimes, like from Indian people, like Pakistan is a terrorist base. This is like, I mean, this seems like to be a small part of the country. Like, they're not even like originally there, or they're not even living there, or they just using sometimes like the country for their advantage. Like, I feel like. All right.
Struggle that the country has been facing. Their army has undergone numerous pursuits and clashes and battles against them. Terrorist attacks have killed over 30,000 people and caused over $67 billion in damage. Luckily,
I mean, why you call it a terrorist base when they're actually going against their own country? You can't say Pakistanis are terrorists when they're destroying like Pakistan, like the country they're in. That doesn't make sense, man. Holy cow.
It has been in decline since the peak in 2009. Whew, yeah.
By the way, no hate on Indian people. I'm just thinking there's often a minority in the comments that sticks out because they're saying some rubbish, you know? It's not about India at all, or about Indian people in general. Nothing. I don't want to say that. I just noticed maybe I should mention.
Pakistan has beautiful land and people, but to quote Poison, every rose has its thorn.
Hey man, I'm the music guy, man, dude.
Sorry, Mr. Chance. Anyway, we gotta move on. History. In the quickest way I can put it, Neolithic Mergar people, Indus Valley civilization, Indo-Aryans migrate, Hinduism, Persians, Macedonians, Mauryans, a little bit of Buddhism comes in, weird, confusing Indo-Greek, Scythian, Parthian kingdoms, more Hindu kingdoms, Arab Caliphate, Islam comes in, Turkic dynasty, Mongols, yeah, even the Mongols took a stab at it, weird regional kingdom era, Mughals, British, independence and partition. Pakistan is two parts. Wars with India. Bangladesh breaks and doesn't want to be part of Pakistan anymore. First democratic transition from military.
Well, there we got the point, man. There we got the point. I'm not familiar with like the old stories. I just always remember like Mongols were like the biggest kingdom like ever. This is what I take from the maps, and the Arabic one. And the other thing that I think. I always know more about like when he says British colonization, I think okay, I'm in now. And then like parted from India, then Bangladesh didn't want to be part of the country anymore. And this is the point. This is the point I was waiting for. Like, okay, there were actually a country once, like the same country, Pakistan and Bangladesh. That means back in the days they were a huge country, like in terms of population, right? All right.
Rule, coups, military tension, China deals, country grows, and here we are today. And finally, here are some famous people you guys, the Pakistani geography, suggested we mention. Jahangir Khan, Sohail Abbas, Malala Yousafzai, a bunch of singers.
Oh, who do we see on? Oh, I only know Atif Aslam, man. Holy man. Zayn Malik, Fat Mustafa, Muwish Hayat, alright.
And actors like these people.
Do I know any of those? Ahmad Sabri, he's dead actually. He wasn't dead when this video was shot. Oh, he's called Amjad, right? Not Amjad. I'm pretty sure. Oh man, to see him on screen once again, man. Oh boy.
People, there's just too many to mention. But one of the most famous ones would probably be Rahat Fateh Ali Khan.
Yes, sir. We know him. We know him. Hey boy. Hey, I want to mention at this point, I reacted on Orepia. I don't know if it at this point I don't know if it will come to the channel. Maybe it's already out when this video is coming up. But if not, Orepia got copyright blocked. I tried to get it online. I don't know if it works, but this is from Rad Fatih Ali Khan, just by the way.
So many politicians and army people like these. I'm just gonna put it on the screen for you, as well as all these sports and athletic people.
Wait. How are you supposed to read this, man? Okay, I don't know sports, man. Anyway, hey, man, I'm not really like too much involved into sports. I'm the musician guy, man.
People, Mahbubul Haq, Mir Muhammad Ali Khan, Abdul Qadir Khan, Abdul Salam, and Shahid Khan.
I mean, everybody's called Khan. This is like Imran Khan. I mean, everybody's called Khan in Pakistan. What's going on there, man? I just wonder, man.
A lot of poets and religious figures like these, but this one, Allama Iqbal, probably being one of the most prominent ones.
Iqbal.
Yeah, so many
but I didn't know him. Like, I mean, I think I've heard the name Iqbal before, but I don't know what he did. Like, for religion, I would say it like that. I don't know what he did.
Figures like these, but this one, Allama Iqbal, probably being one of the most prominent ones. Yeah, so many notable famous Pakistanis. I'm pretty sure a lot of people around the world have heard of them. Which brings us to the world relations, which brings us to...
Friend zone. Oh, this is always interesting, and it's always in the end of these videos, man.
Now you have to understand, Pakistan was kind of like a constructed state to consolidate religious communities in a former empire. So that means with Pakistan, a lot of their diplomacy depends on strategy. For one, even though they were a former colony, they still have a somewhat neutral-ish kind of amicable relationship with the UK. The UK has the largest population of Pakistanis in Europe. Many come from the Mirpur district, and you can still see much of the cultural influences in their society, such as cricket and driving on the left. They have generally good relations with the Gulf countries like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. Many Pakistanis moved there for work as expats. The past few years, though, there has been some controversy with mistreatment of Pakistanis and other expats by certain companies, but overall, the governments get along at least. Afghanistan and Iraq.
Okay, so we're talking about the UK, like, because many people are living in Pakistan. We're talking about sports. We're talking about Saudi Arabia in terms of sports. And I don't know the other two countries that were because of sports as well. And some mistreatment of the workers they sent there. I think there was something about the World Championship of Football as well. Pretty sure there was something about this. I don't know if it's like, there was about Qatar. I'm pretty sure about. All right.
Iran are like their love-hate cousins. During terrorist conflict years, Pakistan took in millions of Afghan refugees that are essentially brothers of the Pashtuns in the north. It remains a constant issue, though, that they are facing to this day.
Wait, who had Afghanistan war with? Not with Iran, right? I wouldn't know about that.
Of Afghan refugees of Pakistanis and other expats by certain companies, but overall the governments get along at least. Afghanistan and Iran are like their love-hate cousins. During terrorist conflict years, Pakistan took in millions of Afghan
terrorist conflict years. Okay, there were the terrorist refugees, right? Kind of. Okay, that was about Afghanistan. So many refugees in Pakistan.
And refugees that are essentially brothers of the Pashtuns in the north. It remains a constant issue, though, that they are facing to this day. Iran is also a key figure in business and trade, as well as supplying oil and other imports. India and...
Okay, Pakistan taking oil from Iran. I mean, of course. That makes perfect sense. I mean, the Western countries don't want the oil from Iran for a reason.
Bangladesh also have a somewhat love-hate relationship. It's more like they hate the governments but love the people. India and
okay, yeah, we're actually talking about this. They hate the government but love the people, you know? Because I see always like Bangladesh people, Bangla people and Indian people like in Pakistan back and forth and from the other side as well. But when it comes to the government, I mean, they have like conflicts, right? Especially India with Pakistan.
Pakistan, of course, have so much history together, even before British colonial years. As mentioned, many of the people groups there share the same language and culture. The only thing essentially separating them is religion. Bangladesh, of course...
The religion, yes. India is Hindu, and Pakistan is Muslim. Like, this is the biggest difference, of course.
Broke away from Pakistan after the partition years and favored India shortly after independence. This kind of angered Pakistan at first, but decades later they've kind of moved on and have good relations once again. In terms of their best friends, however, many Pakistanis might kind of end up saying Turkey or China. Essentially,
Turkey or China? I wonder why is always Turkey, you know? like I feel it's often like in these geography now reactions we had like so far that just people say we love Turkish people, you know.
What it comes down to is a kind of standoff against India. When
Okay. They all don't like India, like, but that's not the people, like that's the government. But okay.
one giant leaves you drama, you kind of settle for the other one. Together, they have the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project, in which they allow them to use the port of Gwadar for their development and trade deals funded by China. Each country's people are welcomed in each other's, and visits are common. With Turkey, though, they've kind of always had a respect for the people.
Okay, of course, about China, it's about economics and trade. We know about that because China's so, I mean, the biggest trading country in the world, right?
Culture and history, TV shows and movies. They support the government and have many diplomatic business ties with them.
So it's about culture and politics between Pakistan and Turkey.
Of course, by default, also brings in Azerbaijan, Turkey's little brother. They love to travel to both of these nations and even go so far as to support Azerbaijan's side in the controversial disputes with Armenia. In conclusion, Pakistan...
Armenia, alright. So, friend with Azerbaijan as well, because they're, yeah, the kind of little brother from Turkey. Yeah, we know about that. I hope Azerbaijan reactions coming back to the channel. I just realized. I mean, it's a long time we had Azerbaijan on the channel, man.
Go so far as to support Azerbaijan's side in the controversial disputes with Armenia. In conclusion, Pakistan may have been formed in the 40s, but you have millennia of backstory with this place. Pakistan, it is what it is. Go for it. Stay tuned. Palau is coming up next.
Palau. And I don't even know Palau. We got it wrapped up, man. We got a long reaction once again, over 40 minutes, like in the last one about India, man. And I even think I didn't talk enough. This is the thing. I think I didn't talk enough. Like, I could have mentioned so much more about this. And anyway, these videos are really long, man. I'm just saying. India was the same length. We keep it short right here. If you want to see more reactions like this, especially music from Pakistan, please sub to the channel and hit the bell. And thank you very much for watching. I want you to go to my socials to recommend me songs, give me feedback and background knowledge. And I told you I'm a musician, so right here on screen you can find some music from myself. So if you're interested what kind of music I do, please check it out. It's provided with English subtitles. You can understand the lyrics, and right above you can find the last Geography Now reaction on India. Maybe that's interesting for you as well. I wish you the very best. Stay healthy, stay well, and farewell.